Welcome to the Socially Conscious Women's Collective Bulb Sale How-To video series. In this video, we'll talk about growing grasses and foliage from bare roots. Specifically, we'll talk about maiden grass, flame grass, hostas, and ferns. Maiden grass, you'll want to dig a hole at least twice as deep and wide as the root system. Place the bare root in the hole, ensuring the top of the root ball is slightly above ground level and the dead grass and new soil is sticking up above the soil. So you'll probably want to plant this, so right about here would be your soil line. You'll also gently spread the roots out in the hole. Make sure you plant maiden grass far apart, 4 to 5 feet. They get really huge. Then backfill the hole, firm the soil gently, and water thoroughly. You can plant these in the spring after the last frost or in the fall, but definitely wait until after that frost. Flame grass, dig a hole at least twice as deep and wide as the root system. Place the bare root in the hole, ensuring the top of the root ball is slightly above ground level and the dead grass and new growth is sticking up above the soil. So for this root system here, you'd probably want your soil level about here. Here's the new growth here. All of these roots you would want below the surface of the soil. You'd spread these roots out in the hole, and then you'd backfill soil around. You'd firm it gently and water thoroughly. Flame grass you would want to spread about 2 to 4 feet apart. You'll plant these in the spring after the last frost or in the fall, and both of the grasses enjoy full sun to partial shade. Ferns, you'll want to soak the bare root in a bucket of water a few hours before you plant it to rehydrate the roots. You'll dig a hole that's wide enough to spread the roots out naturally and deep enough so that the crown, so where the root meets the stem, here is about a ½ inch below the soil surface. So some of this might stick up, but you want this part here to be a ½ inch below. Space the root bunches 18 to 24 inches apart, then backfill the hole, firm gently and water thoroughly. You'll plant these in the early spring and they can be planted before the last frost. So they can be planted anytime in the spring as soon as the soil is able to be worked, as soon as the ground itself is not frozen. Hostas, dig a hole that is twice as wide and deep as the root system. Plant the bare roots so that the crown is 1 to 3 inches deep with new growth facing up and roots facing down. Spread the roots out in the hole. So right here is the crown. You want this part of the plant 1 to 3 inches below the surface of the soil, and you'll want to fan out the roots in the hole. If you want to think about, fanning out your fingers on your hand, making these roots as far apart as possible, maybe even spreading them out like a circle in the hole. Then backfill the hole, lightly cover with soil, press in and water thoroughly. So you can plant these before the last frost. Again, these can be planted anytime during the spring growing season. They can also be planted in the fall. Ferns like partial shade and hostas like full shade or partial shade. All right, so that concludes growing foliage from stems, from bare roots rather, and I look forward to seeing you in the next